I was thinking about like Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka. And I feel like I learned, they're so much younger than me. And I feel like I learned something because I've been like just powering through because all of the things that I ever wanted, like you're so true, Kimberly, the adversity and then the best stuff comes after. Like CNN was really some of the worst years of my life. But now my life is like so cool. And like, there's so many things coming at me and I'm taking all of them and I'm burnt out. But I feel like I need to take all of them because what happens if I don't?
Yeah.
And, but I noticed, when Simone and Naomi were like, you know what? I can't. I gotta take a nap. Like I gotta go take care of my mental health. I have to take care of my physical health. And I'm not gonna do it. And do you guys feel like you ever give yourselves those moments where you're like, I can't, I actually just can't?
I mean, at this stage in my career, yes, I've been doing this for more than 20 years. And I realize that I have a lot of experience and knowledge. And I've also, put in place a plan that would enable me to say no to things, to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that job or work with that person because I just don't want to. But that's been part of a conscious plan to get to this point. But I feel like early on in your career, when you're really trying to build that foundation that's going to enable you to have more agency over your own life, I felt like I really had to suck it up and, and just do a lot of stuff that I didn't necessarily want to do, but I knew that down the road, it would help me. So it was a conscious decision to start building a foundation that would enable me to have more power over what I wanted to do later. And I think that, a lot of it just, I think, depends on where you are in your career. Like just listening to Kim and Nakai talk about like getting into their positions at such a young age, I'm blown away. Like at 18, I wouldn't have known what the hell I was doing. I couldn't even take care of myself. So it's taken a long time to get to a point where I feel like I can play the game of life, like how Kimberly was talking about. But I feel like early on, there's some lessons and some things and some gauntlets you just have to go through to come out the other side and be able to say, you know what, I did that. I'm strong enough. I don't have to do that again now. And I'm never doing that again.
Totally, I agree. I was going to say, you know what? Say no to building other people's dreams and say yes to building your dreams.
Yes. Well, I can tell you, I don't think, I think because I'm starting my own business, I walked away from my corporate career about 6 years ago, and I've been independent in financial services all this time. So I feel like I'm back at the point where I'm rebuilding, right? But to your point, Nakai, I'm building my future versus someone else's business. But this is, I think, Kara, an area where I don't know about other women, but I know for me, I've got to do better. I think as women, we're nurturers. We take care of everybody else. So whether you work for someone else or work for yourself, we give everything. And then when there are people that we're engaged with, whether they're our partners in business or, colleagues, we want them to be good. And we give. And then what's left for us? And, I'm almost talking to myself right now because I know that when I'm talking to people and I'm mentoring them, I always say, when you get on the airplane, right? And they say, oh, when you get on, who do you put the mask on? You put it on you first and then the kid. Because if you do the kid first, the kid can't put the mask on you. They're going to be like, la, 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 and you're going to be gone, right? So it's the same thing for us as women. We've got to find time to nurture ourselves, and our mental health is like so important. I know that, and I'm very comfortable in saying this, that from the beginning of the pandemic up to now, through watching what happened through the pandemic, losing friends and family members, and then watching the whole social unrest and the Black Lives Matter situation, and now what's going on in Afghanistan, there are times for me personally where I literally have got to shut it all off, because it's so overwhelming trying to be everything for all people. Simone is like watching what those two young ladies did. That's something I think I need to do at some points in my life. And I think we probably all need to, right?
They gave a master class.
They sure did.
Yeah, when Simone did that, I was like, that girl got to go on tour. They got to go do master class. I mean, that was a master class.
Yeah,
a master class. And when you think about it, the fact that I know, like, even being in business in 2018, I made a pivot in my business that a lot of people didn't understand. I literally said, I'm closing down my brick and mortar store to go get into the tech scene in Austin and Silicon Valley. And I'm going to go and sort of retreat to learning and upskill, kind of like what Nakai talked about, like skilling yourself up. I had been an entrepreneur for 14 years at the time, but I went off because I was like, I want to make it easier for women to buy makeup online than it is in person. And everybody was looking like, well, because my store was in the most affluent neighborhood in Houston. So like, you closed down your store to go sell makeup online? What are you talking about? Like they couldn't get it. They didn't know the pandemic was coming, but the good Lord knew. And that's the reason why that voice inside of me told me to make a switch. Okay. And, but I'm saying that to say, sometimes you make decisions and nobody around you can see the vision or the reason, but they didn't hear the inner voice that you heard. When Simone talked about the reason why, right? She said mentally and physically, I was not aligned. When I knew that I had I had been an entrepreneur for 14 years in business with that brick and mortar, I knew I had took myself as far as I could go. I had took myself to the furthest point I could take myself. At this point, I had to go learn more to go to the next level. But nobody could understand it because on the outside, I looked like I was being successful. And if you get caught up in what you look like, if you believe your own image, like if you let the Instagram fool yourself from what you've been posting, then at some point you got to be self-aware to where you be real with yourself. And I had to be real with myself and say, Kim, you do not know anything else to get you any further in business. So I had stopped reaching my own dreams. So now I got new dreams. How do I reach those dreams if I don't go out and go learn? So I had to become a student for like almost 2 years. And so I just say that to say at that point, I made that choice. I could have kept going along, right? But then I would have been in a prison, within my own prison of ego and superficialness, because it would have been for the look of it and for the ego of it. And so I must say, what you brought up, Kyla, I mean, that was a master class. And I've seen that in my own life where I had to make that choice. But I also know what it looked like when other people around me were saying, man, why would you do that? And then they start thinking you're doing bad. They actually are offering you $5. They're like, you need something to eat? You all right? You bankrupt? And it's like, but people don't understand sometimes those shifts and those pivots that you make in your life that may not look like success to them, but you know what it is internally to you.
It's true. I took off, I left CNN in 2016. I did not get a full-time job until 2020. And my parents were like, what are you doing? Like, don't worry, I got it. Like, they're like, no, seriously, what are you doing? And I was like, trust me, I need this. Like, I need it. And I needed just space to just think, create with no barriers. And It opened in 2020. I got the job that I've always wanted. And like, I get to do all of the things I've ever wanted to do. I get to work in Hollywood. I get to work in journalism. Like, I get to do all the things. But I needed that 5 years where I was like, no, nothing. Sorry, guys.